I've had the Starlink Mini now for a little over 3 months, and I put it through its paces. I've used it 2 or 3 times to restore internet to my house when my fiber's gone out. I used it on a road trip up 395 from Los Angeles to Reno, driving through the Sierra Nevada mountains, worked fine while in motion. And I've used it on my rescue team for numerous search operations, including the wildfires that just ran through Los Angeles area. And it's worked almost flawlessly the entire time. I want to tell you about the plans. So there's 2 plans that are available. One is an unlimited plan, gives you unlimited data for the month for $165. The second plan is a $50 a month plan, and this gives you 50 gigabytes of data per month. If you go over, it's $1 a gigabyte. And the good thing about both of the plans is that you can suspend it if you're not going to be using it. So I try to keep mine suspended. For some reason, every time I try suspending it, I've had something come up where I've needed it. But the good thing is that when you reinstate your service, the time is prorated. So if you start it in halfway through the month, you're only paying for half a month's service, and you can suspend it right away after you start it, and you still get service till the end of your billing period. So it's very convenient to use. Anyway, what I want to do is show you the kit that I put together. I think it works really well to take it on a trip somewhere. It's compact. It's got everything I need for most of my operations. So let's get started. I'll show you what's inside my kit. First of all, it's an Apache 4800 case from Harbor Freight. And I already hear those keyboards clicking. Harbor Freight's junk. Why would you use that? I was a broadcast engineer for 40 years, and all my equipment was normally in Pelican cases. And those were fine. Those were great. They worked bounced around in my news trucks that I drove around, in my remote trucks. And for professional use, that's what I would get. The Apache case is going to sit in my house most of the time. It might be in the back seat of my car where I'm going to take more care of it. The Apache case is 1/3 of the price of the Pelican, and believe me, it'll work just fine for what I'm doing. So let's take a look and see inside of what I've got. Okay, here's the top part of the kit. First of all is the unit itself. This is the Starlink Mini. It's a little bit bigger than the size of a notebook. It comes with 2 different stands. One is a kickstand. This pops out, and you can set it on a table, you can set it on the ground, on the roof of your car, anywhere that you want to set it up. It's very convenient. Right here are 2 ports. One is the power port. That's a 5521 barrel with a special waterproof seal. As you notice that the jack is recessed. So it'll close it up, it'll make a seal. The second is an Ethernet jack. It's also recessed, and you can buy a special Ethernet cable from Starlink to go in there. It can be out in the elements. This is all waterproof. It can stay out all the time. As a matter of fact, there's even a snow melting setting on here, so you can leave this out in the snow. It should stay clear. You should get a good signal. Not a big deal in Southern California, but certainly if you're in Wisconsin or Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, it'll come in handy. So this is the main unit. This is a combination antenna, satellite receiver, wireless router, Wi-Fi router, and everything that you need goes outside. This is an Anchor Prime 27,600 battery pack. It's the largest battery pack that you can carry on an airplane. And this will power the unit for about 4 hours. I've got other units if I need to go longer. This is the AC power adapter. This plug it in AC, provides the DC to run the antenna. It's also got a recessed jack. It's not waterproof like the antenna is, but it'll stay in moist conditions. You can use this outdoors. Okay. Underneath here is a second mount that comes with the unit, besides that little kickstand mount. And this, they call it the pole mount. You can put this on top of a pole, move it to your motorhome, on your house. It's very convenient if you want a fixed time most of the time. I use it because I also bought this newer It's a tripod adapter, and it's got either a 3/8 or 1/4 inch adapter for it. You put it back inside the hole here. There's a little thing to tighten it down. And I carry a little mini tripod with me. While you can use this on the ground, it's convenient to put this up a little bit higher. People won't step on it, walk in front of it. So this comes in handy. Just tighten that down, mount it on a tripod. Okay, then I've got the cables. There's numerous cables. All these come from Starlink. The first is one I'll probably be using most of the time. It's got the barrel connector that goes in the power of the antenna, power input to the antenna. And this is a USB-C jack, a plug. And this will fit in the power supplies that I use. So like I said, this will be most of the time used because most of the time when I'm out with this, I don't have AC power. I do use the AC when I use it to reset my internet for my house, because I have an AC outlet, but out in the field, most of the time I don't have AC power. Okay. The second is a 50-foot cable, and this is the barrel connectors on both ends, and it's got the special waterproof gasket on both sides, and this is what I use when I use the AC adapter, and it's about 50 feet long. The third cable that I can use has the DC power plug that goes in the antenna, and it's got a 8mm power plug that I use when I use my Yeti to power it, and this goes into an 8mm jack on the Yeti so that I can use straight DC. I don't have to use the AC adapter and switch from AC back to DC. It would be more inefficient. These are my connectors, my cables. This is a Anchor power supply, and this I use to charge the batteries, keep them charged up. And that's my kit. The Pelican, just like Pelican cases, the Harbor Freight comes with a pick and pluck foam. So you can pick out little sections of the case and make any design that you want, make it fit your different things that you carry with you. What I found even in the Pelican cases is that once you use it a few times, this pick and pluck foam starts coming apart. So what I did was I went to the local foam store and I bought a piece of rigid foam. And I had to make it a little thinner, took a little modifying. I cut out an opening for the AC adapter, for the battery pack, and for the unit itself. And this is much more rigid. I can put the antenna in and out. It's not going to fall apart. I glued it back down to the second level with some Spray 77 adhesive. This should last very well, I hope. The same thing would happen if I had a Pelican case, the same pick and pluck. I had the same problems with my other cases. And this little piece of rigid foam is my cover. It separates the cables from where the antenna goes so it doesn't plop all the way down, gives it some protection. And this actually is some rigid foam that came out of one of the packing cases that my larger Anchor battery pack came from. So there you have it. This is what I carry around with me. If I need to go somewhere, just grab it and I can go on the run. I can power it for at least 3 hours, 4 hours with my battery pack. I have a couple other battery packs that I can use for longer power times. So let's get started and we'll hook it up and I'll show you how easy it is to use. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up the Starlink Mini. First, I have the Starlink Mini unit itself. And I'm using the kickstand for this test, sitting on the table on the picnic bench. I've got the 15-foot cable. It's a USB-C on one side and a barrel connector on the other side. I have two different Anchor Solix power banks. The first is the Prime 27650. It's like I mentioned earlier, it's the largest one you can carry on an airplane. And it'll run the unit for about 4 hours. If I need more time, I've got the C300 DC, which will last about 7 hours powering the Starlink Mini, but it also has the advantage that I have a solar panel. So as long as I've got sunshine, it'll run all day, and then it'll keep it charged up until the night, and it'll run probably most of the night. So Here's how we get this going. We're going to take the Mini, take the end with the barrel connector that has the waterproof gasket, and we're going to plug that into the bottom. We're going to set this down anywhere. It could be on this table right here. We're going to point it toward the north. Then we're going to take the USB-C connector and plug that in to the Anchor battery pack. Now it's going to take about 2 minutes to power up and boot up, get aligned, and connect with the satellites. You can watch that all. There's an app on your phone, which I'll show you. And right now, it's going to start connecting.
Now the Starlink is online. And even though it's downloading a software update, we can still use the system right now. We're going to check for antenna alignment. And you'll notice that it's off a little bit. We're going to move the antenna and watch that box. And now the antenna is in perfect alignment. If we want, we can do a speed test. And we'll get the upload in a second. 9.8 upload, 111 megabits download. Not too bad for a little antenna.
So there you have it, Starlink Mini.